And to talk about cricket, we have Matthew Arrowsmith on the line. Good afternoon to you, Biscuit.
Hello, boys. How you going?
Yeah, really well, but not great this morning after that news of Pat Cummins in doubt for the entire Ashes series. Your initial thoughts? What was the issue in the end as well?
Yeah, very concerning. A bit of a back issue, so they scanned it and they said it's looking a little bit better and not good enough. So he's definitely ruled out of the first test, and as you say, he's in trouble for the rest of the series. So they potentially lose their captain for the whole series, their strike bowler, their guy who gets them on his back basically and carries them through sometimes. So it's going to be a big blow for the Aussies ahead of a massive series against England.
Sounds like they're in big trouble then. And you think they can still claim this Ashes series?
I do still think they can claim it. It's on home soil, England. They love coming out here and making a little bit of a fool of themselves, but I think they will be stronger than they have been in the past. But Australia's still a massive chance to win. They're still a world-class lineup. You know, you got Stark, you got Hazelwood, Scotty Boland, who has been in phenomenal form. He's going to get his opportunity to potentially play a full series, so he'll be ready to go in that respect. And then the batters, you've still got some world-class batters there as well. So Australia will still be right around the mark. They won't be rolling over nice and easily for England just because Paddy Cummins isn't there.
Okay, aside from Cummings not being there, who's going to captain this Australian team?
Oh, I'd be shocked if it wasn't Steve Smith. He's the vice, but they have spoken about Head before, who's been in the mix. But I think it'll be Steve Smith. He's good tactically, and he has done it when Cummins hasn't been there. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't Steve Smith.
We know, and you mentioned there, he has done it while Pat Cummins hasn't been out there, but is that going to go down well? And do you think that could cause a bit of a distraction for the Aussies once the Ashes roll around and those English commentators get going?
No, I don't think so. I think especially in that inner sanctum, they'll be pretty happy. You heard even when Pat Cummins became captain, he wanted Steve Smith as his right-hand man because he knows how tactically good he is on the field, and the boys obviously respect him. So I think there'll be no issue there. It'll be talked about a little bit, but once you get into the cricket, I think, Steve will be ready to go and the boys will be ready to go as well.
Okay, how's that top three going to look for the Aussies? Because we've got to sort it out, and Labuschagne's been in very good pre-season form.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting times in the Shield. It's the great Australian bat-off at the moment, so it's been fascinating to see who's going to score these runs and take their opportunity. We know Sam Constas was opening in that last series in the West Indies, but has struggled over there. He's come back and scored 100 in a pre-season game, then went over to India and scored an Australia 800. He couldn't get any runs against the West Aussies. You mentioned Marnus Labuschagne there. He's right in the mix. It's very interesting how it's all going to sit. Does Bo Webster still play if Cam Green's able to bowl? You'd think he should, given the form he's been in, but for the balance of the side, they might take him out. There's so many options at the moment, and still a few Shield games to play. So hopefully we do find who's going to open the batting with Khawaja, because I'd say after Khawaja's 70 for Queensland, he's nearly a lock to stay at the top if he wasn't already.
We spoke to your man, Pearl Persick, yesterday on Tuesday Drive and got his thoughts on the WA cricket scene at the moment. Your thoughts after that loss yesterday to the New South Wales boys?
Yeah, it was a pretty disappointing loss. I'm not too concerned. They would have liked to have won. It was a deck that gave a fair bit for the bowlers, a very low-scoring game, and WA would have backed themselves to have a good chance of chasing that score in the second innings. But it's sort of been the story of WA the last year and a half. Their bowling is still standing up, but runs, it's just not coming. You know, you don't have Bancroft and Whiteman firing, and then it's a struggle. Cartwright didn't get going as well. Cam Green looked good for his 24 in the second innings, but couldn't get a big score. So hopefully West Aussies can turn it around. It's only one game. They're 1-1 in the one-day cup, so still hopefully some good performances coming up for the WA squad, and hopefully they can find a replacement for Joel Paris, who went down in that first game. So all of a sudden depth being tested a little bit for WA.
Okay, back to this Ashes series. What are we hearing from England? Now, is Mark Wood, Jofra Archer, they all going to be fit and come out? And will Ben Stokes, who had that shoulder injury and was foolishly bowling when he didn't need to, is he going to be able to bowl as well?
Yeah, it sounds like they're all going to be fit to go. That's all the reports. So we'll wait and see who they roll out in that first test. It's interesting with their spinners as well. They're bringing over Shah Bashir, who doesn't turn the ball very much, and I think might get plastered around a few grounds in Australia. But they have brought Will Jacks as well, who bowls a little bit of part-time spin. He could potentially come in and bat 7 or 8 and be an extra bat for them and bowl that part-time spin in front of Shab Bashir. So maybe they'll go with that. But their pace attack looks pretty good. If they can keep more on the park, it shapes as what should be a ripping series and hopefully an Australian win. But we'd like to see it be pretty competitive, I think.
Well, it should be competitive. I think the tab touch market has just found itself a little bit far apart now with this news. If it is confirmed, Australia 165, England $3 draw 775. Is it 86-87 the last time England have won a series out here? Is that right? Would that be right?
No, they won a series out here in 2010-11, but
10-11.
That's one of the few. So they haven't done well since then. I don't think they've won a test match here since then. So it's not even winning a series. They just haven't been competitive. And Australia go over to England, and it's a great series because it's in England conditions, and Australia are able to get up to their level, and it's always a great watch. And then England usually come out here and they sort of have players who end their career because they just fall apart here in Australian conditions.
Yeah, huff and puff a bit, but got to blow our house in, don't they? How this first test here at Optus Stadium, I've never known a more anticipated test match here in Perth since probably 1970-71.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? Because it was worrying a couple of years ago. We played, I think it was the West Indies or Pakistan the first test, and we didn't get too many there, and we thought, we're not going to hold on to this. And last year we held on to it, got some numbers there, and now the lead into this test, it's fantastic to have the first test here in Perth. I know for a long time we had the third test, which usually shaped pretty well for an Ashes series because we'd be wrapping it up in the third. So it's always pretty good times here in Perth, depending whether you get the first or the third test. What
are you going to this summer yourself, Matty?
In terms of attendance, where am I headed?
Do you plan to go on day one?
I'm hoping to get down there for a little bit. I like going and checking out the Shield games. It's always pretty empty there. Get to see a bit of the young talent coming through. But I know that you love your cricket, so you'll be heading down to a couple of Big Bash games, won't you?
Yeah, well, there's still tickets available for, I think it's the 3rd and 4th and 5th days of the test here in Perth.
I think the 3rd's booked out.
Is the 3rd booked out now?
Yeah.
I know 1st and 2nd definitely were.
First 3, I think, pretty sure. Don't forget they're playing that pre-test match out at Lilac Hill as well, getting back to the old days of having an opener out at Lilac Hill, which would be really worth going to have a look at, Matty.
Oh, for sure, yeah, definitely. At a ground like that and to see some quality cricketers in action, fantastic venue to watch cricket. And as you mentioned, the players that are going to be there are going to be world-class. So, definitely get down there and have a look.
Good on you, Matty. Best of luck for your summer ahead with your own cricket at Kenwick. Are you thinking you're going to do well this year?
Oh, you're always confident, mate. You always got to go in confident. Before the season starts, anything's possible.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the president, so he has to say it. But good on you, Matty. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, boys.